and let's get your home sold stress-free.
From our factory to your home, Mermaid Mattress. Mattress, better price.
If you watch 3+U on a regular basis, you have seen Mark Tipton many times come our way with Best Buy Metals. This is Isaac Libbey, who is the chief man there at Best Buy Metals, and he's going to share with us this morning his own story. Mark has kind of encouraged him along the way because for how many years now, Isaac? 12?
Right at 12 years, yes ma'am.
He and his wife and some friends have been making monthly, if you can imagine that, trips to Haiti to help and be a part of the lives of the children in that very devastated and poor country.
Yes, ma'am. That's just something that we're thankful that God's allowed us to be a part, and it's really where our passion is. And we're thankful, really thankful for the opportunity to be able to work in the country of Haiti.
Mark thought it was important to talk about because at Best Buy, he talks a lot about the community involvement that you have here, and you're manufacturing everything up the road in Cleveland. You're entrenched here. You can't do that successfully the way you have if your heart's not in it. And I think he kind of gets amazed at where all your heart goes. You said that when you were a young teenager in church, y'all would take mission trips to Haiti. It's been a part of your life for a long time.
It really has. Ever since I was real young, I really felt that at some time that we'd be there more often, so that's really where it's led us to.
So you felt willing to come this morning because this year has been a challenge for a lot of people, kind of held up in their houses and living a bit in isolation, and depression has kicked in. You really have realized this last year more than ever what the power of outreach can do for somebody. So you're not necessarily saying folks should support what you do in Haiti, but find something where your heart calls you and share.
That's exactly right, Julie. I think the biggest thing is there's so many needs all around us, whether it's foreign missions, local missions, there's needs everywhere, and we could all in some way touch somebody's life. So it's one thing that, you can't help everyone. Even like in Haiti, you see so many needs all around and you get pulled all directions, but every little child that we're able to take into the orphanage, it changes that life for good, even though there's so many children that need help.
Well, you have made it very specific. He and his wife and these friends have set up something called Arms of Hope Children's Home. Where is it in Haiti exactly?
This is in a little town called Maribalais. You fly into Port-au-Prince and you drive for a couple hours back towards the mountains, and it's an old village there.
When you began it, how many years ago did you begin it?
We've been working in that area for many years. Even before I was there was another pastor that took us to that area and showed us, and there was an orphanage there. And then after that, we was able to buy a piece of property, about 5 acres, and begin a new orphanage. And it's real close to the same area as where that orphanage was at.
So have you watched, Isaac, as you and your wife would come home from a trip and you would talk in the weeks between your visit about, gee, I wonder how this child is doing, or I wonder what we're going to see when we get back there next month about how this mom is doing, and then you get there and just organically things have grown? Did you begin it with a plan, or have you just been led?
Well, I would definitely have to say that we prayed a lot about it, and we have been led. God's helped us in the matter, but as you said, there is each child. You see, each one has their own story. The ones that we brought into the orphanage. And quite often, most of them had no parents, and their life was pretty bad, and wouldn't even survive without a little help. And so we look back at each one of their faces, and like you're talking, there's other needs too. There's kids all around that need help with nutrition.
So I guess then too, you're employing people, right? Because you have to have staff.
That's correct.
Who helps with those children. So it's a full circle give.
It really is. We've got really good staff. Those that cook, the nannies that take care of the kids, wash their clothes. So it helps all the way around.
I know some people who've taken mission trips to Haiti. My husband actually went to Haiti after the earthquake, all those years ago. There's a joy I hear in their spirit that is contagious.
It really is. I think you described it perfectly when you said that, because there's nothing more rewarding than just seeing someone else's life change. So there is a real joy. That's where I could come back, and I'm really thankful for the job we have here. I'm thankful for our leadership here that allows us to keep going. They're a big part of that. But when I go, when I come back, I do feel that joy that you're talking about.
Can you remember back to when y'all first really began to actively do this, not with other organizations, but forming your own? Was there a little bit of fear or hesitancy? Did you have to be kind of pushed a little to take that step, Isaac, or was it an easy one to make?
I think the main hesitation would be knowing that we would see other needs that we couldn't help everyone, because in Haiti, it's one of the poorest countries you'll find, and you see so many, and you'll get pulled this way and pulled that way, and you feel terrible when you can't help one and you're helping another. But so that was the hardest. But then when I realized that just helping one at a time, just whoever God allowed us to, whatever way He made a way, and that encouraged us to go forward.
So after all these years, have you had a chance to watch some of the children become adults?
Yes, we definitely have. Some of them we took in from the time they were just a couple weeks old, and some were already 4 and 5 years old. So some of them, there's a few of them already married. They've gotten married. Matter of fact, one in particular is married and now is working with the orphanage. So she comes every day and helps take care of the children, and she once was one of the children.
Well, I mean, we could talk far longer than we have time to this morning, but the whole purpose of this was to let you know, first of all, that this is what he's doing for 12 years behind the scenes with no one knowing it, just those closest to him. And who knows what you can do in your own life, whether you want other people to know and share the journey with you, or just make it be something quiet you do that you can feel good about when your head hits the pillow at night. It's a very good story to share.
Absolutely. I'd encourage anyone to step out. You know, we could work for ourselves all day long, but just encourage somebody to step out and help someone. It's worth it.
If you do feel called to learn more about what they are doing in Haiti, it's called the Arms of Hope Children's Home, and there is a website you can go to as well, armsofhopechildren.org. Thank you, Isaac.
Thank you, Judy.
Todd! No! You wouldn't just